Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you a strong guide to help you with a Mastiff and stop landing shots where you get 13 damage per hit, or something ridiculous. Of course, to top it off, we're going to give effective tips and tricks on how to get better. On today's video, also, we got 30% off G Fuel, so if you use code Dazs, get 30% off G Fuel. But right into the video. First, we're going to understand the Mastiff has changed and is much weaker overall now that it lives outside of the crate. Without a bolt, this weapon really is quite weak, unless you have no other option. I recommend only taking the Mastiff if you have some sort of bolt on it, you know, the white, blue, or purple. You can see from a comparison that without the bolt, the weapon is just way too slow. You can already see the amount of DPS it dishes out. It's just not as effective as an R99, R301, a Wingman. I mean, the list goes on. There's a way better effective weapons if you don't have a bolt on it. I mean, a Wingman can just dish out way more damage overall. Somebody can two-tap you by the time you even get the chance to pull out another Mastiff shot. So pick up the Mastiff wisely and realize if it's in your inventory and you've had it for way too long and it's still without a bolt. You don't really want to be in the later zones without a bolt. Otherwise, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot and you're going to lose a gunfight, even if you have 100% accuracy. So first, I want to cover its spread. Notice the spread is very different compared to the other shotguns in the game. Most other shotguns have a circular or star-shaped spread. This shotgun is very horizontal. Also why its crosshair is horizontal, to kind of help match that. Which is where it loses its power at distance. Now, if there are multiple targets to shoot at, then it's a shotgun that can really spread its damage across multiple targets. You can see from the dummies or where I'm shooting that it can hit multiple targets at a distance, but obviously, it's for quite a low amount of damage. So real quick, I'm literally going to freeze frame. I just want to show you the spread shooting the sky. For the Mastiff, it's going to be the most effective and you need to aim for the body. This goes for very much against all aiming advice anyone will ever give you. But if you do aim for the head, yes, you get the multiplier, but unless you are right at their head, most of the shot, since it's horizontal, is going to spread and it will miss. You'll be much more consistent just aiming for the body and you'll gain as much damage as possible. Now, for the most important part, the engagement distance. Because of the spread of the Mastiff is really bad at a distance, you need to ensure you're using the gun at its most effective range. If you have a Mastiff, you need to get up close and personal. I mean, makes sense, it's a shotgun, right? Let me show you just how close you need to be and just see how fast damage drops off. I will mark it with Watson fences so you can visually see it better. But just notice, obviously, at close range, it does the most damage, right? We move back and it loses quite a bit. Then now we see it's pretty much at its famous low tick damage we see everyone complain about. Remember, sometimes waiting to just get that much closer to the engagement can literally make the difference in terms of damage. It's why, if I were blunt, noobs will succeed much more with shotguns, because most good aimers will aim for the head and they'll just start doing damage right away despite the range. You need to be in the effective range and aim for the body. Waiting to close the gap by 2 seconds can be risky. It feels risky, but you will secure much more damage if you wait and just get closer. Also, the reason why people fail so much with a Mastiff, and the final thing to be mindful of, the gun has a slow velocity. Let's take a look at the sky and see just how slow it is. Its bullet takes a second to reach its target, so where you aim is not always where the shot is going to be. You have to account for lag, bullet velocity, and distance. Lag meaning on your screen you hit them, but on their screen they are slightly ahead. So hit registration. That's why it makes shotguns feel so inconsistent. Remember to ADS quickly if you can for the shot, as it does also tighten the spread just a little. All this seems to make common sense, right? And just to show you for ADS, I will also demonstrate the distance that it'll take for the ADS at various ranges so you can see the drop off on damage. It's because we just did hip fire just a second ago. So again, now that we've seen it both at hipfire and ADS, and we understand lag, distance, bullet velocity, it all seems like common sense, right? But I can't tell you how many times people whiff or mismanage their distance, and it makes and breaks a fight altogether, where somebody pushes in and they're just out of that effective range of the Mastiff. So I highly recommend review your VODs, compare to the test range, and consider that distance, the lag, the bullet velocity, and it all comes together. Just as a reminder, I showcase the ADS and hipfire damage from various distances. If you're right up on them and you hit them in the head, yes, you can do way more damage, but realistically, you have to be like right on top of them and shooting them right on the head to maximize on that headshot damage. So I guess if you're jumping down on somebody and shooting them, you can maximize the damage that way. Hope you guys found this guide helpful. I hope it helps you nail more of your shots in Apex Legends and gets you thinking a bit more, because it is a different way to engage with shotguns. It's the same concept of why the EVA 8 is so effective, and I would definitely love to do a guide for that as well and showcase the damage for you with the same concepts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.